In a distant land, there was a meandering path through a dense forest, a place where nature's beauty was overwhelmingly serene. Walking this path was a figure well known for wisdom, revered by many as the Buddha. The Buddha enjoyed strolls along this path, not just to appreciate the beauty of the earth, but to seek out souls in need of wisdom and guidance. One day, as the Buddha walked this path, he arrived at a crossroads. There, he encountered a man in deep grief, praying fervently. Recognizing the Buddha, the man immediately knelt down. He said, "Buddha, life is so full of bitterness and pain. I was once a man of great wealth, living a life of ease and joy. But through trickery and deceit, everything was taken from me by those I trusted and loved. Now I am left with nothing, with no one to turn to. How many more times must I be reborn into this world of suffering before I can be liberated?" The Buddha pointed to a mango tree by the road and said, "Do you see that mango tree? You must be reborn as many times as there are mangoes on that tree before you can experience the bliss of liberation from the sufferings of this fleeting world." The man, seeing the dozens of mangoes hanging from the tree, gasped in dismay. "But Buddha," he asked, "I have lived a righteous life in accordance with the precepts. Why must I suffer for so much longer?" The Buddha sighed gently and said, "Such is the nature of life." He then continued his walk along the path. Not far along, the Buddha encountered another man praying by the road. This man knelt down and cried, "Buddha, life is indeed full of bitterness and pain. I have lost all those I love to the king of death. Now I am forlorn and lonely. Life is full of anguish. How many more times must I be reborn into this world of suffering before I can know the bliss of liberation?" The Buddha pointed to a field of wildflowers along the road and said, "Before you can know the bliss of liberation from the sufferings of this fleeting world, you must be reborn as many times as there are flowers in that field." Seeing the hundreds of flowers in the field, the man wept in despair. "But Buddha," he asked, "I have done many good deeds and followed your teachings wholeheartedly. Why must I endure so much more suffering?" The Buddha sighed again, saying, "That is the way of life." He then continued on his way. As the Buddha walked on, he came across a tamarind tree. Under it, another man knelt down and wept before him. "O Lord, life is full of suffering. During the day, I toiled like a slave under the scorching sun, and at night, I have nothing but a pile of grass to sleep on the cold, damp earth. Life is nothing but hunger, thirst, and loneliness. How many more times must I be reborn into this world of suffering before I can know the bliss of liberation?" The Buddha looked up at the tamarind tree, each branch bearing many stems, and each stem had dozens of leaves. He said, "Look at the tamarind tree. Before you know the bliss of liberation from the sufferings of this fleeting world, you must be reborn as many times as the number of leaves on that tamarind tree." As the man looked up at the tree and its dozens of leaves, his eyes filled with tears of gratitude and joy. "How merciful," he said as he prostrated himself on the ground at the Buddha's feet. To this day, the seeds of the tamarind are a symbol of faithfulness. You see, in your life, 1,000 lifetimes to some may seem like an eternity, but for others, it may pass like the blink of an eye. Do not dwell in pain. Do not dwell in suffering. Do not dwell in hard times, because just as the sun rises and sets each day, so too will your suffering and happy days alternate each day for the rest of your life. Suffering is a given, but how we respond to it, how we respond to hard times, is what defines us as humans, what defines our character. Be happy even during the worst days, and remember that after the darkest hour of the night, the sun always reappears. This is a Dare to Do motivation story. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel and continue to explore more wisdom and joy in life with us. Wishing you a blessed life.